Hello Year 5, welcome back to your third English lesson for this week, and it's all about creating similes about your planets. Now make sure you've got your word bank that you had yesterday to hand because you will be needing to use that today. Right, let's get into it.
So this is the starter task for this lesson. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to write out these sentences and underline the adverbials within them. Just a quick reminder that we can have adverbials of time, place, manner, frequency and degree. So it's now my turn. I'm going to read the sentences out for you. So the first one. Firstly, we went into the museum for a workshop about the Vikings. The second one. The dog sat waiting by the door for its owner to come out of the shop. The third one. Miss Warren says that I must finish my poem before the end of the week. The fourth one. Without warning, a spider ran across the floor. And the fifth one. Cacti hardly ever need water. Pause the video here, write those sentences out and underline the adverbials for me. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've had a chance to underline the adverbials and let's check. So the first one was firstly, and that is an adverbial of time, that is when something happens. The second one was by the door, and that is an adverbial of place, that is where it happens. By the end of the week is the third one, and again that is another adverbial of time. The fourth one is without warning, and that is an adverbial of manner, that is how something is done, also how something has happened. And the fifth one is hardly ever, and that is an adverbial of frequency, and that is how often something happens. We do have adverbials of degree, but that isn't within these sentences, and that is how much something is done. Okay, so this lesson we're again going to be looking at how we could use figurative language to describe space, and we're going to be focusing specifically on similes. Now, what are similes? Now it's my turn. I'm going to explain what a simile is. It is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing to another thing of a different kind. So similes describe something like or as something else in a non-literal sense. So the moon is as white as snow, and the stars sparkle like diamonds. Again, comparison of something else, not in a literal sense, and it's using the words like or as. Okay, now thinking back to yesterday's lesson where we've completed these circles now, with all of these nouns, how do you think we could use these nouns now? Pause the video here and have a think for me. Hope you've had some time now to think about how we could use these nouns, and this is what I've come up with. So we could use these circular objects to compare them to our planets. So for example, Venus is like a blooming flower, bursting with love. Jupiter is as raging as fire. Neptune swirls like a whirlpool. Now I've used whirlpool for Neptune because I know that the god that is linked to Neptune is Poseidon. And Mars protects the solar system like a shield, and I've used shield again because I know that Mars's god is the god of war. So when we're using as a comparison, you need to compare it to an adjective before we use a noun. So I could say as white as snow, as dark as night. So I need to have that comparison of the adjective to something else. I hope that makes sense when you're using the as within your similes. Now, these are my steps to success for writing a good simile. We need to make sure that the language is engaging. The comparison between objects needs to be interesting and exciting. I don't want lots of comparisons between animals. I would like these comparisons for the circles that we've got, or thinking about the planet as like a human-like thing, like the god is. And we're always using like or as to compare. Now, I have got yesterday's words about the moon and the goddess Luna that I can use to create similes. So I want to compare the moon like or as some of these nouns, and I'm going to use some of my adjectives to help with describing this as well. So here are some that I've created. So the orbiting moon is like a compass, one of my nouns, exploring the earth. Now I've made my noun into a verb by adding my ing ending on the end. And then I've got in the midnight sky, which is a fronted adverbial of place, the enchanting mystical moon, for two adjectives there, which is an expanded noun phrase, is as bright as a diamond twirling through space. Now I've got in that sentence there's a lot going on there. So I've said fronted adverbial of place, an expanded noun phrase, and then as bright as a diamond. Now I've used diamond. That isn't one of my nouns that I've got in my word bank, but that was something I thought would really work in that simile. Now I want you to think about your planet and god or goddess and what you could be describing it like or as. Look at your plan from yesterday. Look at the nouns you've put into your word bank and think about how you could make that really interesting. So obviously we've got Venus, the goddess of love, Mars, the god of war, Jupiter, Zeus, the god of lightning or god of gods, and Neptune, god of the sea or Poseidon. Now, Chili 1, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to create similes about your planet using the word bank that you have from yesterday. Chili 2, I'd like you to include expanded noun phrases into your similes. And Chili 3, I'd like you to do Chili 2, as well as enhancing your similes by using functional adverbials. Now, if you're not sure about which adverbials that you could use, I have got a word mat at the end of these slides for you to use. So this is the French adverbial mat that you could use for Chili 3.
Right, year 5, that is everything. Hopefully you've got a whole plethora of similes written down about your chosen planet, and I cannot wait to read them all when you send them into our year 5 email. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.